measure, they're more difficult to draw the comparison between measuring what we expect in terms of the impact of that training. So we can easily measure things like the change in behaviors and demonstration of skills. What most organizations have a difficulty in is tying those behavior changes to the actual business outcomes that they're looking for by investing in these strategic programs. So we seek to help those organizations by using industry standards, best practices, and providing benchmarking and trending in order to provide the right context to understand what is the impact, and then we use statistical rigor to ensure that our measurement tools are appropriate for measuring even things that are typically soft in nature in terms of how we understand the return on investment.
When we administer these programs, we're very focused on efficiency measures like cost per head and number of people trained, etc. To some degree effectiveness measures, the quality of the program, the participant experience, but we don't spend enough time setting up the business KPIs from the beginning. So if we are running a program like this within a specific business unit, we need to have the discipline to work with the business sponsors or the internal customers in that business unit to find how they would define success. If the intervention we're doing is indeed to improve cycle time, productivity, customer service, how would they measure success against our intervention? And then they agree to provide us with the data, and then we can track all three levels of measurement against the program versus what the business sponsor was looking for.
Right, so there's really a partnership between the business and the learning organization to create a criteria for success and then develop the programs that will actually track toward that success and provide credible ways of measuring it together. And what's most important in that process is making sure that the programs that we design and the measures that we're collecting are aligned to the overall strategy of the organization. Because if we're creating programs that don't align to the strategy of the organization, what we ultimately find is that we are moving against the direction that the organization would like us to be doing.
Right, and then that's going to bring the whole training effort into question around business value. And if we don't have the business outcomes, as we call business impact, to validate the programs, then it may be up for being cut or budget being reduced or being removed altogether.
Right, and that's what organizations find themselves faced with when they're only reporting on how much activity they're doing versus how much impact they're having, right?
Yeah, and in the past, we've always thought it's either what we call happy sheets or smile sheets. It's how, we do a survey at the end of a program, how satisfied are the participants, or we do a full financial P&L or ROI analysis. And what we've learned over the last years now is that there's a whole series of tools that are in the middle that provide reasonable, credible evidence that these programs are providing impact. And that's the important piece, is for us to learn that you don't need to go to these two extremes when measuring the effectiveness of programs. There's a range of tools that are efficient actually to implement and can predict business impact, and then to the executives, internal stakeholders, provide reasonable or credible evidence that the programs are having impact, which is our ultimate goal.
Certainly, and in order to do that, I think it's important to take note of the fact that measurement should be a process that's embedded within the learning and development organization, rather than a project that tries to look back on past performance and look for evidence of its success after that opportunity has already left.
Exactly, and if you're a business sponsor running sales, running manufacturing, running a region, you care about results in metrics that you care about. In other words, not necessarily a P&L for a specific training program. You're going to care about the business impact of that program for the employees that work for you on the business metrics you care about, which is why you say this partnership needs to be set from the beginning with the business sponsor or the internal customers and the program managers, people delivering the program.